Chris Sutton wants Celtic fans to calm down. Welcome back to Fog Football. And yeah, we're here ready to discuss it on a cheeky wee live stream. And I thought, why not do a live stream? Because we're literally 1 or 2 subs away from 5,000 subscribers. How great would that be to hit it on this live stream? So hit the subscription if you're new. If you're not new, then hit a comment in and I'll get to answer it. And we're going to talk about Chris Boyd. Well, not Chris Boyd, Chris Sutton, the Chuckle Brothers. Even though I know a certain pair of Chuckle Brothers that people tend to talk about, we're going to get into Chris Sutton's comments here. And waste no time about it. Let's dive straight into it and see where it's going to go. Because he says he needs him to calm down. Does anyone have any guess why Chris Sutton would want Celtic fans to calm down? I'll at least have a guess before we dive straight into it. But yeah, we can hit 5k subs, everybody. So if you're new, hit the button. Hit the button. You could be the 5,000 subscriber of Fog Football. How does that feel? Does that cheer up your Friday evening? There's also a Scottish Cup game going on right now, and was it Ayr? I think Ayr might actually. Hold on, let me just double check who's playing. Is it Ayr? I completely forgot that the Scottish Cup was no, it's Dumbarton. Dumbarton against Alloa. So there you go. Dumbarton against Alloa here in the third round. But let's dive in to Chris Sutton's comment. Just imagine Rangers winning that, then losing. Well, that probably will happen. I don't need to imagine it. We'll come back. We'll be here Sunday for the Fallout Mackenzie. And we'll quickly know, won't we? We'll quickly know. Right. So this is what Sutton said. You would think some people would have learned their lesson from last season. Back then, too many Celtic fans were rushing to judgment on Nicholas Kuhn. The winger was almost written off as a no-hoper. Despite arriving with some fitness issues, now Kuhn is arguably the best player in Scotland this term, and the same fans who were on his back are hailing him as a 30 million asset. Here we go again with Arnie Engels. It seems some supporters are concerned they are not getting enough bang for their buck with the Belgian. They need to calm down. They also need to ignore the 11 million price tag. End of quote. So, yeah, we'll take wee breaks because there's no point me reading it all out then forgetting what he said 20 minutes ago. People did think the same about Kuhn. And they were wrong. I mean, I thought the same about Kuhn. But at the end of the day is, Kuhn came with a smaller price. When someone costs a record fee, rightfully so, there's going to be a bit more of a light, showing on them. And I think that's what's going to happen with Engels. I mean, people want him dropped. People want Bernardo starting. And when you look at Celtic's midfield, it's very strong. I see no reason why Bernardo can't be starting over Engels or even McCowan. But yeah, financial, people will look at it. Well, why is the £1 million guy starting over the £11 million guy? Some people don't want that. Honestly, I mean, I rate Engels, but people were jumping the gun. Gordon Dale, after one game, was claiming that Engels was going to be better than Matt O'Reilly, which is just a ridiculous thing to say, because how can you base it after one game? I think he scored like 2 penalties in it or something, 1 penalty, whatever. Ridiculous statement. I mean, look at Matt O'Reilly, what Matt O'Reilly's done since he's left Celtic. Yeah, picked up that injury, but he's scoring goals now, and he put Man City to the sword, did Matt O'Reilly, even though everyone seems to be doing that now. But yeah, Matt O'Reilly did that. But as for Kuhn for me probably is the best player in Scotland right now. He will come good. I heard he only travelled with his girlfriend and no one else. Well, I mean, I don't think he'd bring his mum and dad over. I mean, the guy is a fully grown adult at the end of the day. But if he wanted to bring them, I'm sure he's got the money. I'm sure he's getting paid enough a week to bring them. So I guess he could have done that. But yeah, it's 11 million. We'll see how it goes. I still think Celtic will make a profit on the guy. Obviously, to make an insane amount of profit, you're going to have to probably break the own record there set by O'Reilly and Jota. 30 million you only make 19 million profit. It's not quite when O'Reilly, you sign him for 1.5, you get rid of for 30 or whatever it's going to be. Anyway, let's see what Sutton's saying. Look, it's a lot of money for a transfer in Scotland, but when you consider the market Celtic are shopping in, it's practically buttons. I'm serious. Celtic are trying to be a Champions League team, but at that level, 11 million doesn't get you a backup left back. Never mind a box-to-box midfielder. It would barely buy you a right boot in the English Premier League. Regardless of the price tag, Engels is still a development player. I get that might be hard for some fans to get their head around, but it's the truth. Speaking to people who watched him in Germany, it was clear Engels has talent and is a huge prospect, but all that is all he is right now, a prospect. He's just a higher level of prospect than Celtic are perhaps used to. In terms of comparisons, it's a deal closer to the one that brought Odsonne Edouard to Glasgow for 9 million. It's a lot of money in Scottish terms, but it's an investment in potential. End of quote. Again, got to agree with Sutton. 11 million is a lot of money here, but he's right. See, in the English Premier League, man, 11 million gets you hee-haw. Like, Man United signed that Maserati guy, right? For like, what, 12 million? And that's being like labeled as like a bargain. Oh, look how good he is. Look how good he is. But, 12 million in the Premier League is a bargain. It is. I'd even argue the Premier League has got to the stage now where even if you spend 50 million on a player, it's going to be considered a bargain. And but that is insane. Like, I look at players that have been signed in the Premier League for like 50 million. I mean, look at Ben White. I think he's been all right at Arsenal. Like, he's been decent, good. But people would say he's been a fantastic bargain. It's like, what? 50 million for him? You're labeling it as a fantastic bargain? Some crazy prices in there. Look at Chris Wood, 25 million to Newcastle, folks. Harry Maguire, 80 odd million. Pogba, 80 odd million. Scary prices. Premier League's overrated. I agree. Don't you keep saying sorry, Kyle? What are you saying sorry about? What are you saying sorry about? Big man. Right, Sutton. Let's see what he said. I've got no doubt Engels will realise that potential at Parkhead as well. It's not like he's been hopeless, far from it. There's been a lot of good stuff in his first few months at the club. He has really looked the part in some of the European games in particular. He's already a Belgian full international. Yeah, there's some rough edges, but they are going to be. Engels has just turned 21. He's a young lad trying to adapt to a new country. I get that he wasn't great at Kilmarnock or in the first half against Hearts, but he wasn't alone. Those were tough, physical, frantic matches that he will not have experienced in Germany or Belgium. I know because I've been there. The difference when I arrived at Celtic Park, along with other big money signs, that we came with a lot of experience at a high level. Martin O'Neill was signing proven players. Engels only at the beginning of his career, so you can have to cut him a bit of slack. Forget about the transfer fee. Well, I tell you what, right? End the quote. It's a good problem to have. Our £11 million signings, no exactly that good, but we're still going to walk the league and probably do both cups. Celtic would probably beat most of the mid-table teams. Yeah, probably would. In the Premier League, when you base it off this season. Sutton will go on to talk about Paulo Bernardo, but you know what? I'll put up for a poll. But who should start? Who should start for Celtic? Here we go. Right, let me get Engels, Bernardo. Interesting wee poll. Let's see who's going to win this poll, folks. Falle should be first choice. A lot of people think that. Obviously at left back. Jason Lee says Bernardo. So there you go. Bernardo. What else is Sutton saying? So this is what he said. There's now a clamour to get Bernardo in the side from some at his expense, but it wasn't so long ago Bernardo was being dismissed as a dud sign, and now he's the best thing since sliced bread. Perhaps supporters should have a bit of patience. It's not a common trait in the Glasgow Goldfish Bowl, though. Bernardo will get his chance because Engels and just about everyone else will get rotated at times during this hectic spell ahead. It might do him good, but it will also do him good working with a manager in Rodgers, who's a reputation of developing players. People need to chill out and give him room to progress. Everyone wants an instant impact, and if it doesn't come, there's instant judgment. That's not how football works. Unfortunately, players need time to find their feet. End of quote. You're not saying Engels is bad, but Bernardo's earned the spot. You're saying why not both? Because that requires Hatate getting dropped as well, and maybe McGregor. Oh, I think Hatate was really poor against. I think Hatate was the worst player on the pitch against Club Brugge. He gave away the ball, and there was a lot of sloppy passing from Rio Hatate, but it doesn't change the fact I think Hatate is one of the best players in the league. But yeah, that's a good thing to have. You've got 5-6 midfielders that you could switch at the click of fingers at the end of the day. Boom, like that. Good night. I've seen people say they would swap Hatate for Lennon Miller, like a straight swap. Doesn't really make much sense to do that though, considering how much money you could make. And also, it's not. I think Rio Hatate is going to agree, by the way, folks, that a straight swap to Motherwell. No, he was bad on Wednesday. Oh, but if you say that, you're better, folks. You can't be saying Rio Hatate was shite on Wednesday. You want to see Bernardo and Fella start? Taylor, a zero attacking threat. Well, but I mean, obviously Ross County tomorrow for Celtic. It's a tough one. I mean, what's he going to do? Will there be players? I say it's a tough one. I don't mean in terms of the game. All right, before anyone takes out of context, I'm talking about in terms of who's he going to start. Will we see rotation? I don't know. That's up to Rodgers at the end of the day. Celtic have, I mean, apart from Carter Vickers, Celtic have been quite lucky in the sense of they haven't really picked up too many injuries in that midfield or really anywhere apart from Carter Vickers. So, but it's down to Rodgers, man, against Ross County. And then obviously you've got the games midweek as well. Celtic going to Pittodrie. Be an interesting one to say the least. I mean, Aberdeen. I mean, we're going to do the SPFL preview show later, but Aberdeen have got a tough game at Tynecastle. You could be looking at, the two teams were joint on points not that long ago, Celtic and Rangers, and you could, Celtic and Aberdeen, you could be looking at a real opportunity that on Wednesday, Celtic could be going an insane amount of points clear. When you factor in games played and all that stuff. Let's see, I see this game for a Luke McLean to play, probably. Celtic's best attacking game was for St Johnstone when Fally started and set up goal of the season when they ran for. That was good. The back heel, that was good. And then went too far and then still gave it. I mean, it was onside, wasn't it? So, yeah, but that was good. I thought Fally was pretty good. He looked really poor against, him and Trusty looked abysmal against Falkirk. But yeah, it was like their first game, wasn't it? So I guess that can. But yeah, Falkirk were really good in that game for 70 minutes. But is what it is. Anyway, guys, we'll check this poll. We'll see what's happening. I'm not writing off Fally and Trusty. I'm just talking about the Falkirk game. But yeah, Bernardo, people think Bernardo should start over Engels. And problem is, though, Engels is 21. Say he doesn't start and Bernardo hits the ground running by starting a few games. 11 million price. But then there's no excuse for Engels, man. He's a Belgian international. He's been picked. It's not like he can drop the head and be like, "Oh, I'm never going to get picked being in the Celtic team." He's got to knuckle down, folks. It's a good look, by the way, that a guy is getting into a Belgian midfield from the Scottish League, I have to say. But yeah, 86% think Bernardo should start over him. Only 7 votes, so which isn't exactly the greatest thing ever. I mean, Sutton does go on to talk about Carter, Vickers, and Trusty. I think Scales has kind of been hard done by the way. But yeah, I think Trusty's got a wee bit more pace. That might suit different games. Anyway, folks, what do we think of the European action or the other games? Get your comments in, I'll answer them. SPFL preview show / Scottish Cup preview show later on tonight. Looking forward to discussing it in great length. Can't wait for Clermont out on Sunday. Well, I'm Clermont out on Friday. I'm not going to let last night change the fact that the guy's pish. There's just no excuses anymore, folks. Who the hell's Wee Gammy? Wee Gammy, a superstar again. Last time you mentioned him, you didn't rate him, Wee Stevie Lar. Good teams are consistent, something you're sadly lacking. Who the hell's Wee Gammy? I have no idea who he's on about. No idea, folks. No idea. Anyway, it probably will be. Come on, it will be. Yeah, just no, man. It's going to. I don't want to talk too much about the St Johnstone game. That is for later on. But it's going to go tits up, isn't it? At the end of the day, it is. But the live sub count, we're at 4998. If you're new, hit the subscription, hit the subscribe button, and get us up to 5,000 subs. Folk football deserves it, don't we? Don't we deserve it, folks? Of course we deserve it. 12% Engels, 88% Bernardo. So we're going to end that poll. Boom, right in there. 87% Bernardo, 12% Engels. I don't know why YouTube does that, where the percentages don't even add up, but that is the way it goes. That is the way it goes, sadly. I mean, Rodgers, he even weighed in on the whole Engels debate, and he turned around and said that he will blossom like Bernardo and Kuhn. So there we go. Keep eye on Peter Findhall in case Casper only stays for one season. What about I look like Greg Taylor? That's good to know. What about Kelleher? Or is he too dear from Liverpool? Is he too dear, folks? Is that going to happen? I don't think spending 20 million on a goalkeeper is anywhere near worth it in this league. I think if you're spending 20 million in the Scottish, you need to be signing a striker that's getting you 40 goals a season, not a goalkeeper that, you know. I mean, Celtic this season would win the league with Scott Bain starting every match. So why would you want to waste 20 million on a goalkeeper? It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, right, what else? We got any questions on Lawrence Shankland? Is Lawrence Shankland done? Would you take Lawrence Shankland? Would anyone take Lawrence Shankland? Probably not. I'm right? Yeah. Tend to be right quite a lot. Haha, not really. It's just an opinion. Yeah, we've also got Rangers accusing the French police of jeopardising fans. Don't really know what happened, but we all know that European police, when it comes to these match days, man, they're very, very heavy-handed, so to speak, aren't we? But we're going to go to 20 minutes, folks, and we're going to wrap this stream up, so all that good stuff. Any other questions? Get the questions fired out here. Get the questions fired out. Anyone like that? Monster, Ultra. It's the only Monster I really like. Don't really like Monster. Shankland is overrated. Said it last season. Shankland's shite. And there is our opinions on Shankland. Here. Last season, this time last year, I wanted Shankland in at Rangers. This time, this season, not really. Where's Ian? Where is Ian, Scott? My wallet could do with more padding. We're going to start a membership here on Fog Football. We've got people that are calling out for it, crying out for it. Exclusive content, early access. Come on, people want that. Loads of money. He's got a steam room. He's got a jacuzzi. He's got all of that. Shankland rotten and fat. Hope you get him. It's good to know. Make membership cheap. Of course. What's my opinion on the new painter and decorator? Does he use emulsion? Make membership cheap. What's a fair price? Mine's $4.99. $4.99 gets you so much. Did you like that one? Does he use emulsion? Got a cheap pop there. Cheap pop. Right, guys, go less than 2 minutes here. Other questions? They want to know the other paint that the guy uses. You're paying a five. What does a fiver get you on Mr. 118's channel, Mackenzie? One FIFA Career Mode part a month or something? Being serious, I don't know. I don't know what it gets you. I don't know. Exterior paint? Nah, someone tells me he didn't either, folks. It gets you a fiver worse off. Well, I would probably tend to agree with that. It's all about supporting people at the end of the day. The extra content's nice, but you can dish out an extra fiver. You and Ryan could be the new Sutton and Boyd. Is that not? CJ Novo and Ryan 118 used to do wee SPFL review shows together. What happened to their wee bromance? What happened to them? Weekly Q&A, Football Manager when he does it. I might need to do that actually, because my members quadrupled last night. Because Big Ian sent them, gifted 10 memberships. Game over. What is this? Saw. Don't know what these stickers are all about. Don't really do much for me. Anyway, folks, 15 seconds to go. You should do online at FM with a Hearts guy. Could do that. Although FM, can you do FM online on the console? I don't mind playing it on the laptop. I've got it on the laptop, but I only really do it if I'm traveling or something. If you know what I mean. Do you think I'll win a trophy this year? Hopefully so. You never know. One-off games. The league's done, but one-off games, you never know. That's what I'll leave that at. Anyway, folks, be back tomorrow. Maybe there'll be a free 3:00 watch along of all the games, all that good stuff. Anyway, till next time. That's it. Peace.